Hi, I'm Kevin Carney, and I want to take a few minutes to talk about a unique opportunity that Hawn Charter School of the Arts has to teach STEM through the lens of technical theater and production design. In order to engender an interest from a real world point of view in these STEM topics and also fully bear out the charter of Ivy Hawn, technical theater is a perfect vehicle to deliver the rest of the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics lessons because technical theater is STEM. From the very beginning, performers have always needed to be seen and heard, and math, science, engineering, all these things have developed right alongside performers for thousands of years. Consider ancient Greece. Giant amphitheaters, huge cultural centers built on the edges of cliffs, everything designed to the T to maximize acoustics. And to this day, the very real science of sound continues to drive architecture, to drive design. In addition to sound, all modern performance is dependent on complex lighting systems. And each instrument that a student learns to hang, to feed the power supply to focus, to diffuse, to color mix, all of these things provides a direct link to the science of optics. And rather than just seeing images on a page, they'll actually get to experience the effect of manipulating light in all these different ways. But it doesn't have to be one or the other. You've got the physics class point of view where you get the anatomy and characteristics of light, and then you've got traditional tech theater where you're using a wrench, hanging instruments, hauling cables, very physical. It doesn't have to be either or. It can and should be both. And using technical theater as a means to access STEM concepts is a perfect way to do it. Material science, knowing the different species of woods and their properties, how things interact and last over time, are essential to being able to build something safe and effective. But not just lumber, which comes up a lot in theater, but also plaster molding, using latexes, prosthetics. For example, I once had to make a nose for a production of Cyrano de Bergerac. And so I had this actor that I had to figure out how to make a mold of his face and his nose without suffocating him, to make a positive from that mold, and then to create out of a variety of different materials a nose that was going to be light enough and strong enough to stay on his face and move around while he's eating, drinking, singing, sword fighting, and also look realistic. It was an extraordinary challenge. And tech theater, particularly properties productions, tends to create a bunch of unique challenges that you were hard pressed to find in a traditional classroom setting. Even chemistry is involved. I mean, think about the term limelight from way back when. Early special effects were a driver in chemistry, especially if you go back to the 1700s. And there's a lot of interesting history to be had there. And if you consider the most dazzling special effects of modern productions today as well, there's got to be scientific consultants on every film set, especially with all the explosions and things like that we see today. Now, technology, the T in STEM. This is kind of obvious, I would think. Just look at the pictures. You've got computerized programming of lights. We've got sound effects. We've got all these digital tools. We've got computer-assisted design. This one really, I think, speaks for itself. Now think about all the names at the credits at the end of every single movie, right? Everywhere we look, we're bombarded by images of actors, and that's what we see. But for every actor that we do see, there's countless crew members, technicians, technical directors, equipment operators, designers, etc. It goes on and on. If STEM is meant to prepare students for real world professions, this certainly fits the bill. Engineering, of course, makes sense when we're talking about building sets or doing lighting design, but it goes a little bit further than that. We can look into load-bearing structures. We can look into the physics of different materials. We can solve spatial problems with scenery and wing space. We can build reference models. We can learn drafting. We can work in scale. There's really not much we can't access in the world of engineering through the lens of production design. One of the great things about theater from an engineering perspective is that every production comes with unique needs. Every set has to be originally engineered to both serve the design and be safely functional. Each scene is a chance for creative problem solving. And that is just one more reason why technical theater, as it pertains to STEM, is an ideal way for students to engage with these concepts in a way that's going to be interesting and fulfilling for them. Math. Students don't know this from the regular math classes necessarily, but math, obviously, for us, we know it allows everything that we've discussed so far to happen. It allows it all to exist. When applied as a tool in the workshop or on the design board, as opposed to being an abstract academic hurdle, math can come alive for students. It can enable their creativity, and they can start to see math as a tool to use to accomplish their goals rather than an obstacle in front of them. Uh, there's the geometry of lighting design, there's calculating loads, there's designing in scale. There's a lot of ways to access math when we get into the theater. Ah, number one with the bullet, I think, for the parents out there is working with a budget and staying on schedule. You've got to manage limited resources. You have to make certain things happen in a particular order. You've got to be able to have all the numbers work at the end. And the economics of production are definitely going to be covered in the STEM class as well. Now, personally, the reason I'm interested in building this program, when I was in college, I was very fortunate to have a lot of really incredible professors. But the one that I think I learned the most useful skills from was the properties master at the scene shop for the Northwestern University Theater Department. His name was Ed Bevan, and every project was a brand new puzzle for us. Uh, he was able to combine so many different lines of science and art and design and engineering and practicality and problem solving into one single strand. For example, we had to engineer a wooden chair that an actor would be able to stand on, jump up and down on the whole play, but at the end, pick it up, throw at it another actor, and have it smashed to pieces without hurting anybody. And we were able to figure that out. I mean, now, in addition to supporting the school's various performances and state-of-the-art film studio with in-house design, construction, a tech theater program at Ivy Hawn will also be able to train students to become board operators who can then work events in the theater space without additional supervision. This creates an opportunity to not only enhance and broaden the artistic opportunities we have for students, but also to create some very real life transferable skills that they'll be able to take with them as they move forward. Thank you for your time.